The Curse of Bruce and Brendan Lee: An Unfinished Tale in Hollywood. Changing the film industry is a job only for the best and most dedicated. It takes faith, it takes hard work, and a little luck. Talent is a must. A combination of all these was present in the young Bruce Lee, who in 1969 decided that Hollywood was clearly mocking kung fu and Asian culture, and something had to be done about it. Bruce was born into a family of Chinese actors, and his real name is Lee Yuen Kam. His childhood is not particularly beautiful, yet his father, of German descent, is a star in the Canton Opera and has to perform in New York while his family lives far away from him. The meaning of his name is Protector of San Francisco, and perhaps this foreshadows his path to the US and a brief debut in Hollywood. The young man was raised in a cultured family, studied philosophy at the University of Washington, worked in a restaurant as a waiter, and also taught kung fu and karate. In 1964, he married his wife, Linda, and they have 2 children, Brendan and Shannon Lee, while waiting for Hollywood to recognize him as a true talent. Considering the incredible knowledge, Bruce writes a letter to himself and explains that he will completely change the Hollywood culture, demonstrating new skills and qualities that have not yet been sought by screenwriters and producers. Ironically, the actor began filming in Hong Kong, where he was appreciated more. On May 10, 1973, Bruce suffered 2 consecutive seizures and was later diagnosed with brain problems at the hospital. On July 23, he negotiated with Raymond Shaw for a new Hollywood film, The Deadly Game. During the talks, the terrible headache starts, and even after taking a few pills for the headache, the actor goes to lie down in the bedroom to rest. He doesn't wake up anymore. To this day, there is no explanation of what exactly happened to him. Many believe that it is poisonous, and Chinese culture believes that this is the punishment for revealing kung fu secrets. According to the autopsy, death was caused by an allergic reaction to the painkillers. An interesting fact is that his path was followed by his son Brendan. While daughter Shannon had other ideas about her future, she starred in several films and then focused on business. Brendan brings that familiar fervor. He started practicing martial arts from the age of 7. His mission is to fulfill his father's dream to act in a Hollywood film. And to some extent, he manages to achieve this with a few small roles. In 1986, he debuted in Kung Fu, the movie, ending a well-known television series from the 1970s. Another interesting role is Showdown in Little Tokyo, where he partnered with Dolph Lundgren. Despite the positive reactions and attention he enjoys, Brendan wants to make the role perfect. At this moment, Alex Proyas is preparing the last tape of the actor. On March 30, 1993, Brendan Lee walked into his dressing room in Wilmington, North Carolina, for the filming of The Raven and died 24 hours later. The Gothic tape impresses not only with the dark atmosphere, but also with the perfect audio layout by The Cure. The film is exactly what the actor dreams of, stepping out of his father's shadow. That same year, Tim Burton introduced the dark cinema atmosphere with Batman, and it was time for Alex to raise the bar. His choice is a little more difficult. No one wants another kung fu movie. But after meeting the actor, everyone realizes that a more worthy replacement will not be found. James O'Barr has also been offered the lead role. Christian Slater and Johnny Depp are in his sights, but the casting has a heavy say. What's even more special is the fact that Lee plays all the stunts, fully commits to his role. And many are surprised that with the modest budget of $15 million, the film holds a very serious place in the hearts of fans and critics. The pictures are far from a fairy tale. The machines break down quite seriously, several crashes ensue, 1 or 2 injured stuntmen, and even a car crash. If that's not enough, a hurricane passes over the set and shuts down work for several days. What many notice is the fact that Brendan doesn't give up. He spends a whole week in the rain, playing each scene several times, ensuring perfection. He himself gets into arguments with the directors when he is not happy with himself. Obar's words there, very few people understood his dedication. He acted out his own fight scenes, endured everything, and the only thing he couldn't do was jump off buildings. He didn't do them because they wouldn't let him do them. We're not even talking about his performance on stage here. He left a serious dose of humor, pain, and menace. They're a perfect combination for a dark role. In addition to the high enthusiasm, it should not be forgotten that in a few days only the indoor photos remain, where he will be able to be well dressed, warm, and without particular headaches for the camera crew. His plans don't stop there. Just 1 week after the completion of the film, he has prepared a wedding for his beloved Eliza Hutton. His colleagues still remember Brendan going to bed at 4 a.m. and getting ready for work, with a smile and a good mood. He had lost so much weight that the extras could lift him. Even his manager, Ian McCormack, said that the directors were killing him. He hardly suspected the weight of his words. And so we reach March 30th. A pyrotechnician had been dispatched earlier in the day to purchase the necessary bombs and cartridges for the scenes. Apart from buying blank cartridges, the person also buys real bullets. As a rule in Hollywood, it is forbidden to keep live cartridges together with blanks in the same place. That's exactly why they're locked in a trunk in a car in the parking lot. Achieving a real shot effect requires a bit more gunpowder and a cardboard-tipped bullet. It rarely manages to cause any damage to the actor. During one of the scenes, a character looks into the barrel of one of the guns and discovers that the blanks are out. In an effort to save time, pyrotechnicians take the real bullets and begin modifying them into blanks, removing the lead lethal tip. Real cartridges are used in close-ups to achieve extra realism. The problem is that a weapon with the real round in the barrel is being used for a gunfight. And so it's time for the iconic scene with Michael Massey. Brendan needs to walk away and let this character shoot him. In his body there is a bubble of artificial blood for special effects, and after the shot, the actor falls to the ground. The scene is filmed and everyone is happy, but after a few minutes it becomes clear that Lee is not standing up. The actor is on the ground, bleeding and shot in the groin. The gun with the real bullet in the barrel was on the set for 2 whole weeks, and no one paid attention to it. Brendan Lee was rushed to hospital and was pronounced dead after a 6-hour operation. The police investigation took about 2 months and finally, it was determined to be an accident. No charges have been filed. After the investigation, $8 million was paid to complete the film. And stuntman Chad Stahelski and Jeff Codinti were given the lead role. The problem, as expected, is not the completion, but the psychological blow. No one wants to continue filming. It turns out that the son cannot get out of his father's shadow. Bruce dies when he pauses the movie Deadly Game to star in Enter the Dragon. Many questions are also born here, as well as the conspiracy that Brendan was killed by the Chinese mafia because his work managed to overshadow Asian cinema. Another issue is that the actors are required to wear body armor in such scenes. A firearms expert is also usually present to instruct the shooter to point the muzzle away from the victim. Along with all the brewing ideas, one more creeps in the Lee family is simply cursed. The actors certainly had a lot more to offer to Hollywood, but unfortunately, they failed to deliver on their full potential. Their modest film legacy nevertheless significantly changed the cinema and dark stories of Hollywood. Sometimes, it even creates a very specific nostalgia. The Raven won the attention of the audience, but also experienced several remakes and even became a series for a while. However, a face like Brendan is missing. The actor was buried next to his father in Washington.